Peppermint bark from 1980. What do dogs and trees have in common? Neither can file taxes, nor can they eat peppermint bark, but we can. Start with 2 cups of semi-sweet chocolate chips, melted over a pot of simmering water. Fire! Don't rush it, it's not a race. It's Christmas.
But Dylan, you have to temper it.
Says who? Once melted, we spread it into a parchment-lined 9x13. You could also use a 13x9, but they look more like this.
I just want to eat it.
Wait for that to harden a little bit, but not set, or else the next layer won't adhere. You can put it in the fridge. Now we do the same, but with white chocolate. You can differentiate them by way of Uggs and leggings. This time we need 3 cups. Once melted, stir in a teaspoon of peppermint extract. You ready? Now we have to beat up some candy canes. You don't have to use the whole box. You can beat a few and suck on the rest. Candy cane wrappers are a special type of punishment. I'm going to hemorrhage.
I'll have a brew.
Then just leave it to set or to the fridge. Are you feeling festive? My book is festive.
3, 2, 1.
Christmas candy. That's marvelous. A 7-Up salad from 1970. We start with 2 big packs of lemon Jell-O, because 1 would be too easy and 3's a felony. Cup of boiling water. Mix. Cup of cold water. Once you get to this color, you are severely dehydrated. Next is 2 small bottles of 7-Up. 2 sliced bananas. These aren't quite ripe yet, but some things are easier when they're firm to grasp and such. Small can of crushed pineapple. Drain the juice. Cup of mini marshmallows. Lemon lime fever dream. Pour this into something, preferably the garbage. Oh, what? It's just chunky.
What is why?
To the fridge. Good morning. It isn't. Now the top becomes the bottom. That's called being versatile.
What is that?
Sugar, pineapple juice, flour,
Egg cooked.
what? Mixed with whipped cream.
Cheese.
I'm not joking.
Cheese. The one below it has olives.
What would possess? Protect yourself with my book. This person has been to a dark place. It lingers. Seen bad things. Ranch cornbread from 87. This book contains 5 secret cornbread recipes believed to be the lost sacred texts of Nebraska. Bake them all, die. Like the first bread, these are all 3-2-1 recipes, meaning we start with 3 egg beat. 2 boxes of plain cornbread mix by the power of the Midwest. And as you may have guessed, 1 entire 16 fluid ounce bottle of ranch. You know, I've stopped being surprised and started becoming impressed.
Corn ranch. Oh no.
To a greased 13x9. For a gourmet option, are you taking the piss? Sprinkle on a pack of ranch seasoning. The volume of ranch. Sprinkle with water to avoid dry spots.
What type of Nebraska voodoo is this?
$3.75 for 25 minutes. It reeks. My house smells like Hidden Valley.
Dang.
It's exactly like a ranch Dorito. The flavor blast and salty. That's a statement. Concerned as to why I like it. A strawberry Bavarian creamer from 71. For years I've searched for a gelatin mold that is edible, and for years I've done so in vain. This one purports to be different. We start with 30 ounces, about 4 cups of frozen strawberries. Thawed. Add a tablespoon of sugar, then lightly mashed. Squinty. Then we strain. Keep 1.5 cups of the juice. On the top of a double boiler, we add 2 packs of gelatin. 1/3 cup of sugar, pinch of salt, plus 1.5 cups of powdered creamer. Yes, the big secret is creamer. Or him, I don't judge.
Fire!
Making a Jell-O mold creamy is kind of hard because adding wet ingredients to the ratio, like cream, hampers the ability to set. Whereas this goes in dry, but still ends up creamy. Quite smart, actually. Whisk in the juice.
Yumma. Pepto.
Once that's hot, we whisk in the yolks of 2 beaten eggies. Combine with the berries. Wow. Beat the 2 egg whites. Fold. But Dylan, that's not cooked. Correct. Only put it in raw if you're prepared for children. Into greased molds. Woo. To the fridge. Morning. Oh, it's not bad, is it? It's passable. Middle of the road. A bit bland. A coffee loaf from 59 for the man who hasn't the time to both breakfast and have his cup of joe. Oh, the 50s. When breakfast was a verb, baseball was relevant, and I would have had to have had a wife. Dry ingredients are 2 cups of flour, 2 teaspoons of floof powder, pinch of salt, salt, and a teaspoon of cinnamon. Dissolve 1/2 cup of instant coffee in the same amount of boiling water.
1/2 cup. Like 20 cups of coffee. Ooh, this looks like 10W40.
I just let this fester. Now cream
together 1/2 cup of shortening or butter.
with 3/4 cup of sugar and 1/3 cup of preem. If you're curious, you're probably not straight, but that's unrelated. Preem was a powdered creamer. You can still buy powdered creamer if you like the taste of wood glue. 3 eggs. Finally, alternate adding the dry and the motor oil, the coffee, to a greased loaf. $3.25 for about an hour. Check with a toothpick.
Look. It's really good.
lovely. I'd send this to a coffee lover, I'll tell you that. Ohio Buckeyes from 1980. You know, until now, I thought Buckeyes was a condition similar to buck teeth, but it appears to be a candy. Sorry I'm late. I took the wrong exit at Cape Canaveral and ended up getting probed for free. Begin with half a cup of soft butter, followed by a cup and a half of peanut butter. It says chunky okay, smooth preferred. Where have I heard that before? Next you're gonna tell me I need to be 6'5" and well endowed. Beat together with a pinch of salt and a tablespoon of Nilla. Oh boy, it's butter on butter. No one tell Paula Deen, she'll bust in like the Kool-Aid man. 3.5 cups of powdered sugar. 2. Oh, pardon me, this is getting rather stiff. Problematically stiff, like puberty. There we go. If it's too dry, just add a bit of water. Scoop. Apparently these are named after the seed of the buckeye tree, which kills humans and cattle. Ohio, you do you. In the freezer for a bit. Meanwhile, 2.5 cups of semi-sweet chalky chips, plus about a tablespoon of shortening or coconut oil. Just helps it stay smooth. Double boiler. Fire! Toothpick and dip. But not all the way. You gotta leave a little bald spot. Done! To the fridge. Whoa, that's just a good little snack. Peanut brittle from 1909. Now, I ain't never did a peanut brittle, but I done been heard of it before. 3 cups of Spanish peanuts. What are Spanish peanuts? Well, like other Europeans, these still have the skins on. Now into a saucepan goes 2 cups of sugar, 1 cup of the newly invented corn syrup, it's witchcraft, and a half cup of water. Mixy, mixy. Now we cook this to 250 degrees Fahrenheit. Fire! Bubble, bubble! Once we reach that temperature, the firm ball stage, we add in the nuts. I don't know what a firm ball is, but they should probably see a doctor. Oh! Keep stirring until we reach 300 degrees, at which point we remove from heat and add in a bit of butter and a pinch of baking soda. Who needs measurements? Off! Butter! Now quickly, we need a pinch. How much is the pinch? I don't know! Whoa! Creamy! And quickly onto a prepared baking sheet! That was very stressful. Now we just let this cool as you read my cookbook. Please! Last instruction is a simple one, but it's a little bit barbaric. It would seem you don't have to quite apply that much force. There's peanut brittle in the dining room. Never thought I'd be busting nuts on camera, but here we are. You know, this is pretty good, but you gotta have some strong jumpers. Oh. 'Tis distinctly old-fashioned, take that how you will. Though if you're allergic to peanuts, that's one hell of a way to go out. Marshmallow bark from 79. The good thing about this recipe is it seems quick and easy, but the bad thing is that it comes from the state of Missouri. What goes on in Missouri? First, we assemble a double boiler. I'm good at this. Then we melt 12 ounces of white chocolate, either in bar form or a bag of chips. I'm using Ghirardelli bars, because I prefer to rot my teeth expensively. Fire! Yes, you could just melt your chocolate in the microwave, but that makes too much sense. Why be practical when you can give the illusion of competency? We also need to add in about a tablespoon of vegetable shortening. You could also use coconut oil. While that melts, we measure out 4 cups of multicolored marshmallows. Woo! Be pretty. Okay, now that this is ready, we're just gonna let it cool down for a little bit so it doesn't just immediately melt the marshmallows. You ready yet? Combine and mix. And into a lightly greased and lined casserole dish. Making sure everything's even and coated. To the fridge! My cookbook for scale. Quite pleasant, really. It's a bit basic, but the kids will love it. Sweet and simple and Eastery. Panko cookies from 85. It's been said that there's a cookie for every occasion, and if so, this must be the cookie for when you descend into psychosis. Start with a half cup of butter, followed by a half cup of powdered sugar. Next is 2 teaspoons of Nilla and 1 teaspoon of almond extract. Distilled nut. Finally, 3/4 of a cup of flour and 3/4 of a cup of panko, the breadcrumbs. You say, Dylan, why would someone put breadcrumbs in cookie dough? It could be because of like illicit substances or like psychiatric disturbances, being held at gunpoint, these types of things. Then we scoop, roll, dredge in more powdered sugar, and squish. 350 for about 13 minutes. Do not put my cookbook in the oven though, it's flammable. Hello! Once they're cool, we dredge in powdered sugar again. Was the first time just for practice? This person is genius. Because I figured out how to make something soft, chewy, and crunchy at the same time. It's a marvel. It's a good cookie. Fruity Pebble Cake from 1980. Fruity what? You heard me. Where am I? Fruity Pebbles into a blender. Into a blender? What, you never put cereal in a blender before? Calling yourself a chef? Moo juice. Eggs. No. Eggy. Eggy. Yeah. Butter melted. Get it. Sugar. Floof powder. That's baking powder, Nick.
And then we just blend. Blend?
350 for an hour. You like cereal, Nick?
Yeah.
You like men? Ooh. Baking bacon grease chocolate chip cookies from 53. Now, I don't need to tell you how much we love bacon, and when it's cooked, it renders out a fair bit of liquid gold, which theoretically can be used in baking just like butter. Start by frying a pound of bacon. Bacon is always a good idea. Fire! Just like pre-ordering my new cookbook, Baking Yesteryear.
Hi, bacon.
Was that too forward? Sorry, I'm just excited. You know, they say bacon clogs your arteries. I said, yeah, with what? Bacon. We need a half cup. Perfect. Now into a bowl with a half cup of sugar, half cup of brown sugar, 1 egg, vanilla, and whisk. If your grease is solid, melt it. Sorry, it's the bacon and the vanilla. The dry ingredients, we just need 2 cups of flour, 3/4 of a teaspoon of baking soda. Then we bring it all together with a big cup of chalky chips. We can add moo juice if it's too dry. Oh, this is good. Chill. 350 for around 12 minutes. You smell amazing.
Oh my God.
Salty, sweet, bacon, chocolatey, chewy. It's dark magic. A trench cake from World War I. In the Great War, people dug holes and threw things at each other. It's a bit like a children's sandbox, just with an abundance of missing limbs. Start with 8 ounces of flour, to which we rub in 4 ounces of margarine. Ugh. To be fair, my only real issue with margarine is its existence. Also, do notice how we don't mix cakes like this anymore, because we're no longer daft. In goes 3 ounces of brown sugar, followed by 2 teaspoons of cocoa. Ah, yes. The LaCroix method of adding flavor. Just enough to make you realize what you don't have. Half teaspoon of nutmeg, and ginger, plus 3 ounces of currants. Ounces are my least favorite unit, unlike my cookbook, which is an absolute unit. Finally, we need a 1/4 pint of moo juice. Give me a normal measurement. A teaspoon of white vinegar and a half teaspoon of bicarbonate. Bicarbonate? Think you're plush. Oh, thick. Moderate oven for about an hour. Ugh. It's not awful, but it is sad. If someone said that to me in the trenches, I would give up. Boiled cookies from 1953. Now, these were called boiled cookies because you boiled the ingredients. The 50s was a time of blossoming creativity. Today, they are known as no-bakes, which is also the drug testing policy of anyone employed by the government. First up, we need a skillet. Do you all call this a frying pan or a skillet? I call it Steve. In goes a half cup of butter. 2 cups of sugar. Calories don't count on Christmas. Half a cup of moo juice. Yes, you can put liquid in dry measures. Volume doesn't change. Fight me. 3 tablespoons of potted cocoa. Now we bring this to the boil and then let it boil for precisely 1 minute. Fire! You've never been there, have you? New positions are fun. It's boiling. Beep. Done! Now we remove from heat and quickly add in a cup of peanut butter, a bit of vanilla, and 3 cups of quick oats. Then mix. Scoop onto wax paper and let them dry. They are firm. Judging by how they smell, I might be too. Whoa, man! They're like candy. Good cookie. Glorified rice from 1909. We start by cooking a cup of rice. Fire! Are you ready for glory? Cool down the rice gently. Opposed to what? What am I gonna use, a leaf blower? Now for 8 ounces of pineapple and 8 ounces of candied cherries. But there's rice. We quarter the cherries in half. Quarter the cherries? You're gonna make me stroke out. Precisely what realm of mathematics do you inhabit? Finally, we need a cup of heavy cream. I don't like where this is going. And a half cup of powdered sugar. Then we gently whip this stiff again with the gently. How do you gently whip cream, you tart? It's like saying gently have a car accident. Then you just fold everything together. Get it! Oh, not the rice! What is this? To the fridge. Now I'm told that this stuff is still brought to potlucks in the Midwest. Oh dear. I find that remarkably uncomfortable. People still bring this to functions for consumption. That would give me consumption. Econo meatloaf from the Great Depression. Yes, this is a depression meatloaf, which happens to be what I call myself when I'm wrapped in blankets at 2 a.m. watching Netflix covered in Pop-Tart crumbs. But anyway, we start with 6 slices of bread, preferably like my dating life. Stale. Remove the crusts. If you're over the age of 6 and you still do this, good for you. Don't let anyone tell you how to eat. Move to a bowl. Save the crusts. Add a cup of oats and a can of evaporated milk. The meat remains unseen. Perhaps it's waiting for marriage. Pepper. 2 teaspoons of salt and a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. I'm not sure if anyone told you, but beef is a cow. You know the mooing? Time for just a pound of ground beef. Mix thoroughly. This is more grain than meat. Get it! Then we add ketchup. Press in the bread crusts. Railroad track looking Union Pacific meatloaf. And finally, more ketchup. Bake this in a moderate oven for an hour. That is unpleasant. It tastes like it's saving me money. Hard times.
A lot of people ask me, they say, Dylan, why do you never use your front pockets? Why do you put everything in your back pockets? Your phone, your wallet, your keys. I say, it's quite simple, honey. I'm trying to make up for the fact that I have no ass. I'm blessed with no cake, not even a rice cake, not a pancake. It's like a sheet of drywall back there. I sit down and it sounds like two billiard balls hitting each other. Katink, it's a tragedy. I have such a deficit in cheekage that I don't even know what it's like to fart properly. It just sounds like air. You know. Good morning, guys. I'm just here on my stoop, and I'll admit I'm a little upset because I snapped my favorite coffee mug's handle right here at the bottom. And I was gonna throw it away, but instead I decided to repair it, which goes to show that even a broken coffee... Cool things about my car, a 1963 Cadillac. When you make a turn, there's an extra headlamp that lights the way. There's no B-pillar between the windows when they're down. The parking brake is automatically disengaged. There's also no turn signal light on your dashboard. Instead, it's located outside on the fender. This is an Autronic eye. It senses light from the headlamps of oncoming traffic and then automatically dims your brights for you. Doing it manually, though, is by foot switch. Everything is power operated, even a 6-way adjustable power bench. And of course, the gas cap is in the rear. You know, you can never find a pen when you need one. How can I not have a pen in my car? No, that's pen, eh? Well, boys, I tell you, the interior definitely ain't no goddamn crocodile alligator. No, I tell you, it looks like someone threw a grenade in a Goodwill in here. But I do drive a Chevrolet. And she is the size of a movie theater. Look, I'm gonna have to rack y'all's brains for 2 seconds. I've been in this country for 6 years, and somebody has yet to tell me why Americans have to say tuna fish. I know it's a fish! What else is it gonna be? A dog? It's dead! You just keep yourself together, Margaret! Do you think something broke? Yeah, something broke. Are you done? Don't talk back to me! You son of a... You bitch! Oh. Choke. Choke! 1-800-CHOKE this fucking piece of shit! Now, I'm no mechanic. But I think your muffler is supposed to be up there. It's not supposed to be on the ground. Just a great day.
Bitch. Hi-ho, Silver.
Ugh. We are now involuntarily straight-piped. It's gonna sound like a gunfight in a phone booth. Good morning, you sons of bitches. Jesus. Hi there, my name is Dylan, and this is my car. And my car is gay. My friends say that doesn't make any sense. How can a 63 Cadillac be gay too? And I tell them, just sit down, you pillocks, because I'm finna tell you a story. I said, first off, look at these tail fins. They are extra as fuck. I mean, it's just something a straight car wouldn't be seen dead prancing around with. Next, look at this interior color. It is a lightly dusted rose. And anything to do with rose? I don't think I need to say any more. Thirdly, look at this inordinate amount of chrome. To be gay is synonymous with liking all things shiny, and this car is just dripping with shiny. And I mean, lastly, it just takes it in the butt. I mean, that's the main one here. I am so fucking pissed. It is so cold in this state that I cannot clean my windows because Windex freezes. Look at, like...
Pumpkin cracker bread from 75. Yes, it's fall again, which means it's time for baking, rewatching Twilight, ruminating about your profound lack of physical touch. We start with a whole box of graham crackers because leave it to the Americans to make bread using anything but ingredients for bread. Crush them all up. This is roughly 4 cups of crumbs and several tiers from artisan bread makers. Into this, 3 teaspoons of floof powder. Boop, mix. Now into a separate bowl goes 2 chicken eggs. Thank heavens you specified. I was at risk of using my locally sourced ostrich eggs. Facetious little shaggy. Now for a 15-ounce can of pumpkin. If you don't have a can opener, that's quite fine. You could always resort to barbarism and begin communicating using only vowels. Can't hide from me. Beat. Combine. And that's it. Basically 3 ingredients. Into a greased loaf pan. 350 for 15 minutes to an hour. Woo! Can I show you something? It's my cookbook. Oh, sorry, I tricked you. Finally, cover with a canned frosting.
Wow, splendid.
There's no butter or oil, yet it's surprisingly moist. Gorgeous! A Castella cake from 1980. Now this recipe came to Flushing, Queens from Taiwan. I was also disappointed.
তুমি কেন ছোটই থাকবা ফুপু ডাক শোনাইবা না
আকাশ তুমি এনে বেরিয়েছো
1 কেজি খাসির মাংস আনতে পারবেন?
ঢিলা পানি ঢিলা স্বপ্ন ভাবি নাই
ছাগলের রংটা ভালো আমার আবার চিত্রবিত্ত ছাগল ভালো লাগে না
ভুলে তো এসি রামছি তোমার লিগা
কি আনছেন আমার লইগা?
দেহ খুলা
আপনি রেডি হয়ে কই যাইবেন?
দাওয়াত কি খালি আপনার একলারে দিছে আমগো কোনো গুরুত্ব নাই আমগো কেউ দাওয়াত দেয় না ছাগলই তো মনে হইতেছে 2টা ঠ্যাং কম জি
আমি কি খারাপ মানুষ? হ্যাঁ, আমি তো 4টা বিয়ে করছি।
বোর গোসল দেখতে
মিছা কথা, আমি এই সময় গোসল করি? এত সুন্দর শাড়ি আপনি পছন্দ করলেন কেমনে?
যেমনে তোমারে পছন্দ করছি
কি এইটা?
এটা দুম্বার বাচ্চা
পুরো খালি মস্করা করে।
খাসির মাংস করতেছিলা
মনে আছে আপনার?
ভাবির কইতে যখন এত অসুবিধা বাদ দেন, আগে তো কতবার কইছেন।
আপনি দেখছো এটা কোনো কথা? আপনি আমার ডর হইলেন কেন?
দুধ পাইলা কই চা পাতা পাইলা কই আমার আনতে কইছিল আমি তো আনি নাই ছাগল কিনা টেহা শেষ
আমরা বাচ্চা কাচ্চা নেই না কেন? আমার কোনো সমস্যা আছে নাকি? আরে হইছে ছাড়েন। আরে কেউ দেখা ভালাইবো দূর।
এত পূর্ণ আমি কোন সময় উঠছিলাম আল্লাহ তোমার মতো একটা মানুষ আমার কি লেগে দিব দেন চিক করে দেন
আল্লাহ গো, এইটা আমাগো ছাগল। আল্লাহ এইবার এই ছাগল দিয়ে আমরা কোরবানি দিব।
ভাত খেয়ে যা।
না না খাওয়ান লাগবো না, আমি যে বাড়িতে না ভাত তরকারি রাইন দিয়েছি।
উট কুরবানিতে ঢাকা লাগবো, এখন ইন্টারনেটের যুগ, ফেসবুকে ছবি দেখো।
জুতো নাই থাকলে জুতো দিয়ে পিটাইতাম। চলেন আসেন।
হ্যাঁ এরম ফুটানি মাইরাই বেড়ায়, দুনিয়া দাঁড় দানা করছে।
কিরে খাড়াই রয়েছিস কেন? খাওয়ান দিছি তো, খাইতে আয়।